What I'm doing here today is I'm meeting Steve, who's a partner in creative construction. We've got to do some due diligence on the land that we're looking to buy to make sure it's feasible to pull off this project. So when we're looking at properties, deals like this, Steve, looking to build some houses on this land, like what's kind of the due diligence that people need to be aware of?
Yeah, so what?
Because some people, they just dive right in, right?
Yeah, so for me it's about the levels of the land, it's any trees on the land, is the area, conservation area, which automatically puts TPOs on trees, what sort of trees are they, do we need to abide by them, is what's in the surrounding areas, you know, take into consideration if there's any like section 106 or highway costs that we need to obviously contribute to. There's also actually measuring out the land, you know, of how many houses can actually go on there, and also what sort of style of houses that you're going to put on in the area, because it's all right doing different types of houses, but if it doesn't match with the area, or the area doesn't warrant high-end luxury houses, and it's just going to be like a nice cul-de-sac, you've got to weigh all that up as well. Well,
we always say, like, if whatever we're looking to sell these for, like some of these we want to sell for like 800, you've got to ask yourself a question: if I got 800,000 to spend on a house in this area, am I going to do, like, would it be this house? Because if the answer's no, then someone else is likely also going to be no as well. So that's the first thing we look at. What most people are not paying attention to, because we're at the point right now that we can literally exchange and complete on this, you know, but like, what is it about that, like, because we need to do some surveys on the land? Yes,
yeah, so we've got to do soil samples to make sure that the ground is actually adequate enough to actually build houses on. We've had to do, we pushed back a little bit. We had to potentially do an archaeological dig, but there was no need for that in the end. There's also just the surveys. So we've had to get a survey engineer out to look at where we're bringing all the utilities in, and how we're going to progress it through the site as well. Yeah,
because there was that horror story that actually they were building, so they purchased the land and they started building, and then they found a mine.
Yes.
And it actually cost them £2 million in to fill it with concrete.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
For £2 million. I mean, obviously that would absolutely not be feasible on a job like this, where, you know, we're looking at £4 or £5 million at the end. So what are the things that should be people be considering before they dive into something like this?
Good question. So I think for me it is literally where the utilities are going to come in. Are there any utilities in the ground already? You can pull them up from your local utilities companies. They should be able to give you that sort of information for free 9 times out of 10. And again, it is literally just about agricultural trees, everything that accumulates into each aspect of a build in land, really.
So it's always good to be here on the site and meet the people, meet Steve here, because like, we've got to do our due diligence, and my idea is to take care of the business end, make sure the numbers are stacking, make sure that it's going to be viable, profitable for us. And Steve is here to make sure that, like, project-wise, construction-wise, everything is in place, everything is where it needs to be, so we don't have any spooky little surprises. I mean, there's always some things that trip us up, but we need to be best prepared as possible going into the deal before we even put that money down to exchange. Obviously, we're getting skin in the game now. It's costing us money, but like on jobs like this, you really got to get skin in the game, and that's where the big payouts are, because you've got to put a little bit of risk in.
So the next move is sort of obtaining ground survey quotes. I do my numbers, I look at the selling costs, I do what needs to be done, and then my next move is obtaining the costs for surveys, asking the people for like soil samples of, you know, what do I need to look for, how much is it, when can you do it, this is the area of the land, you know, give them the details of it, so they can actually, they might be able to pull something straight up and give me what's in this area already without any extra cost. Looking at again the area with the trees, what needs to come out. Again, obtaining quotes for what it costs to take out big massive trees that are on this site, and how we're going to get rid of all the roots. I think there's also the there was a potential archaeological dig that may have had to happen here, but we spoke to the archaeological team. They basically looked at the area with all the information that I gave them. They went, no, we're okay. Spoke to utilities about how we're actually going to get them on site, where they're coming from. Are we going to need road permits for closing off the roads? We might have to close off both roads because the utilities might be on the other side. We have to do it half at half each time. So there's a load of stuff that you'll need to obtain. Do I like doing this due diligence stuff? Yeah, I love it, because all of a sudden them little pieces of information that you get collate to going, actually, this is worth it, what we're doing. And it then makes me push into the next move of going to the architect. It's about important working with your architect with his input, knowing what's best for the shape of the site, but also going, well, actually, this is the best, but I want this to look like this, feel like this, because at the end of the day, I want to be doing what everyone like takes the fun out of driving past here one day and going, oh yeah, I built that site, or oh, I bought that site and built this and done that to it. So all that aspect leads into getting that first spade into the ground.
If you got value from this video and you want to know more about from Steve and our construction company and all of these different projects we're doing, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and by the way, put us a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you have any additional questions, and if you want to support us, then we will continue to put out the content on the things that you need. Yeah, check out these next videos as well, which is a continuation of you doing your due diligence, how to put costs together, and how much money you can actually make from doing deals like this. Do the right thing for the right reason, because that's the only way you'll discover your true potential.